Most smart home energy setups are built around solar panels, EV charging, or time of use pricing, where electricity is cheaper at certain times of the day. But I don't have any of that. So the question is, does tracking energy even matter for a homeowner like me? I installed energy monitors on my electrical panels to find out what my home was doing. And what I found surprised me. Hey, I'm Robert, and Oconee Smart Homes exists to make real homes more convenient, accessible, and safe with smart home technology. We serve real customers right here in Oconee County, Georgia, but this channel is for anyone who wants to make a simpler, smarter home. Thanks to Meross for helping make this video possible. I have two electrical panels, and I bought one of these monitors myself, and they sent the second one so that I could see the full picture. I'll explain more on that in a second. I've been interested in energy monitoring for a while, primarily to understand what's driving our power bill. So I installed a monitor on one of our panels and quickly realized I wasn't seeing the full story. See, our house has two electrical panels, both fed by the main service, and the biggest loads like HVAC or the range are balanced between them. So only monitoring one panel, I'm missing a huge part of the story. Now, before I fix that, let me show you what this thing actually does because it's a little bit different than most smart home devices. This is a whole home energy monitor. Ignore the color. And the way that it works is pretty simple. These clamps go around the wires in the electrical panel, measuring the current that's running through it. One thing that's important to note, though, is that these clamps are directional. You can see the arrow printed here. It points away from the breaker towards whatever is getting the power. And what that means practically is that when you install these, some will be facing one direction where you can see this, and the other side will be facing the other. And that's okay, totally normal. Quick note, I am not going to walk through a full install process here. Working inside your panel is dangerous, and if you're not comfortable or aren't sure that you know what you're doing, you should definitely hire a professional. But the reason that something like this is interesting is because without it, you're basically guessing. You might have a sense of what's using power, but you don't actually know. And right now, that's exactly where I am. I've got one monitor installed, but I'm blind everywhere else. So let's fix that. Now, you've probably heard of Meross before. They make a lot of smart home products, and I've been using their HomeKit garage door opener in my garage for years. But this is a little different. It's not a plug-and-play smart home device. It's more of a system-level infrastructure designed to give you visibility into your entire home's energy. Each unit has two main clamps that measure the total load of the panel and smaller clamps that go on individual circuits. So you can see both the big picture and the smaller bits of where it's coming from. It is ETL certified, so you can feel safe about having this installed in your home. Of course, it works in the Meross app, which is a pretty simple view of current and historical usage, but it's designed to work really well with systems like Home Assistant and Homey that have nicer energy dashboards. It also provides API and MQTT support if you want to integrate it into a deeper automation system. And one really great feature is that it's totally local. You can disable the cloud entirely, and each unit runs its own local host that has a web interface that you can access directly on your network. Now, one thing to be aware of is that you're probably not going to be able to monitor every single circuit. You'll have to choose the ones that matter most to you depending on the number of clamps that you have. And in my case, because I have two separate panels and I wanted full visibility, I ended up with two units. The main limitation I ran into is how this handles different electrical setups. The system is designed to support both split-phase and multi-phase power, which is why some of the labeling and the instructions can feel overbuilt for a typical US home. There are 16 individual ports for branch circuits, labeled A, B, and C. But in a split-phase system, these don't correspond to different phases. Think of them more like channel groupings. A for leg 1, B for leg 2, and C has to be tied in with either A or B as a general rule. You can use them elsewhere, but you might have to reverse them to correct the number, and the readings may not be accurate since it's not tied in with the same line for voltage reading. The main thing that matters is being intentional about which circuits you choose to monitor and keeping the clamp orientation correct. It's not a deal breaker, but something to be aware of going in so that you don't get confused. I recommend mapping out your circuits and your ports ahead of time so that you know what you want to monitor and where everything's going to go. Because once you start this installation, you don't want to be figuring this out on the fly. That said, once you understand that, you still get a really solid picture of what's going on in your home. And now for the first time, I can see what my entire house is doing with electricity. And this right here is my house doing nothing. Nobody else is home, no major appliances are running, all of the lights in the house are off. Really, it's just my office that's powered on right now, and we're doing about 200 watts. So I can estimate that this is my baseline, which is going to be there kind of as the foundation of my energy usage 24/7. So now the question is, what's using power when nothing's supposed to be running? These are sometimes referred to as phantom loads, or devices that are quietly using electricity in the background. I've had fun over the last few months going around from room to room in our house to understand what's using the electricity. Let me show you what I found in our bedroom. So right now our bedroom is drawing about 170 watts of power. And you can see I've got the lights on, I've got the fan on. Let's see what's using up all this power in the room right now when nobody's home. So we'll cut the lights and the fan, turn off the lamp. Okay, we've got another lamp on over here. So with the fan and the lights turned off, now we're down from 170 to about 90 watts. So there's still a couple of things running. Over here, we got one more culprit. That's our air purifier. We typically run it in the bedroom at night while we're sleeping, but right now it's been left on. Let me turn this off. And with the air purifier, we've dropped about another 10 watts. So there's still something using power. I got to figure out what it is. Okay, so I think I found the culprit. This TV, as it turns out, is not tied in with the rest of the deck, but with the bedroom. And after just a few seconds, we've dropped to 10 watts. And individually, these don't seem like much, but devices like this all over your home, running in the background all day, adds up. And this is an area where you can easily reduce it, or at least with the awareness, make the decision of whether it's worth addressing or not. For example, my daughter's closet. She leaves the light on all day. That costs me about 75 cents a month. Okay, do I want to solve that or automate that in some way? Well, now at least I know and can calculate what my ROI would be. So a cheap smart switch might eventually pay for itself. And major appliances is where you really start to see what's driving your power bill. It's things like HVAC, your water heater, your cooking appliances, your laundry. It's not about when you use these or cutting back on how you use them, but one of the most useful things that it unlocks is not actually about saving money or energy, but awareness and what you can do with that. For example, I can't control my oven remotely, and I don't think that I would want to. But now I can know when my oven is running. Now this is where things get interesting. Every major appliance has its own energy signature and how it's consuming power. And once you see its patterns, you'll start recognizing what's going on in your home. Take the oven, for example. So when I turn the oven on, and that's a spike of almost 1,500 watts in an instant. Now you can do the same with your other appliances, your dishwasher, your refrigerator, your dryer, not because you're going to change how you use them, but because it gives you an awareness of what they're doing in your home. And once you have this data, you can start building automations around it. Things like notifications when the dryer's done, an alert when the oven turns on or is left on, warnings if something's been running too long, or even managing the entire load across your home. It's no longer about just monitoring, it truly becomes a part of your smart home. Honey, did the dishwasher ever get started? I don't know. Now you actually do know. And some things are the opposite. You need to know if they stop drawing power or if there's an anomaly that might indicate a problem with the appliance. If your fridge or your freezer stops drawing power, responding quickly could save you hundreds of dollars in food. And that's something you feel instantly. You don't have to wait for your monthly power bill to come around. Now, this is just a quick look at the Home Assistant Energy Dashboard, which I use throughout the video. So once you get the panels set up and all the data plugged in, you get really nice views. I can see individual devices and their usage and the total usage for devices. Now, this is the thing that totally surprised me the most, is that right now my water heater is the one that's using the most energy. Now it's springtime in Georgia, and so maybe that changes, like when we get into summertime and the air conditioning is running more, that will shift. But for now, the water heater being the biggest energy consumer really surprised me. Its usage does seem to crank up throughout the day when we're not home and not really using it. Perhaps that's just refilling and keeping the water warm. Now, my plumber has talked to me before about some ways to make that more efficient, and maybe it's time I go back and talk to him. Even if you can't control something through a smart interface, knowing what it's doing can change the way that you interact with your home. Now, if you do have solar, home batteries, or an EV, this becomes even more useful for you because you're going to be able to track what you're generating, how your vehicle is charging, and what you're using across your whole home. But like I said, I don't have solar or a home battery or an EV, at least not yet, and my electricity prices are the same throughout the day. But this still helped me understand what my house is doing. So understanding my baseline helps me get realistic about my electricity usage. Finding phantom loads helps me reduce what I can control. And my awareness of my major appliances actually has helped me build a smarter home. Because if you can't change when you use electricity, the next best thing is to understand what's using it. If you had something like this in your home, what would you want to look at first? Let me know in the comments. Meross has offered our audience an exclusive discount, and the details will be in the description below. Now, if you're ready for some automation ideas to reduce your energy usage, go ahead and take a look at this video right here. I hope to do some more energy-themed content in the future, so subscribe and stick around. God bless you. I'll see you next time.